Yeah, yo, what's going on, man? It's not popping up. What's this Zoom? What is this? Is this Zoom right here? Profile, man. I don't know why the icon ain't showing. What's going on? I thought it's supposed to have an icon or something. Shit, this is like the first time I ever did this, man. I'm not sure. Or it don't even matter. I think it matter. Yeah, for sure. There ain't no need for motherfuckers to see me, man. I mean, it ain't gonna make a difference either way. Yeah, man, I did. I peeped them earlier. I did from the inbox. Matter of fact, to pull them up. Really don't even matter, man. I'm good either way. But I did skim them though. Some great questions though, man. Cool.
All right. What's up, everybody? What's up, and welcome to another episode of Behind Them Sticks with your boy Ham Solo 05 Gaming. Make sure you hit that like button and share this out so other awesome people can check out these other awesome gamers around the world. I'm telling y'all, come check this shit out. But let's move forward. This evening we have an absolute gamer that loves to show his passion, whether it's on Twitter, in the spaces, or on a post. He's fairly new to creating content onto YouTube, which I believe he's going to be creating some more. We'll be back to that. But yeah. Let's just go on ahead and just cut to the chase. What up, brother Beast? How you doing?
What's
Beast of
going
Truth
on?
here with us today. Beast of Truth. What's
What's
going
going
on,
on,
bro?
brother?
Not
Doing
much.
fine, man.
Not much for me, bro. How you doing on the east side?
Man, we doing pretty good, man. Got a little bit of showers earlier, but it's in a slow down, a little calm night, cool
Bro, it's
night.
cold as hell today. It's cold as hell today. I'm in the Midwest, and man, it was crispy. It was
Crispy.
yeah. It felt pretty crispy outside.
How low it got?
Uh, in like the 40s, going down in the 30s in the evening, but it'll be all right. It's supposed to be sunny
Oh
tomorrow.
yeah, man. It definitely was crispy then. Shit, 30s and 40s.
You know what I'm saying? But anyways, let's move on forward. Going ahead and let everybody know what gaming and social media platforms that you're on, so either they can game with you. I mean, bruh, you showed me that video with K Mega and you going at it.
Yeah, it was tragic.
That was tragic.
It
But
was tragic.
anyways, let everybody know where they can find an ass whooping, and also let everybody know where they can check you out on social media and whatnot. Go ahead.
All right, what's going on, y'all, man? For many of y'all may already know me, man. It's, Beast of Truth from Twitter, man. Also have a YouTube page by the same name. I actually got into this, man, just to kind of communicate with regular gamers out there, man, because the real gamers ain't really represented. I do need to start doing a little bit more content, because when I do put it out there, a couple of people say, it's dope. So I'm trying to get back to doing that, being a little more consistent. But yeah, Twitter, Beast of Truth, YouTube, Beast of Truth. And I represent, Xbox. I'm an Xbox gamer. Y'all can catch me on there, Bless Pharaoh. Uh, shit, and hey, from there, like I said, man, I don't mind gaming with anybody, right? Because the problem out here now is a lot of people are in these gaming communications, this gaming community. But I don't think we got a lot of real gamers. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I definitely give you the smoke if you want it. You know.
yeah, yeah, I witnessed it, and it's tragic what you did to K on stream.
Yo,
That was, bruh, that was tough because
you know, made it crazy, man.
he was
My
moaning
man.
and groaning that whole time. He was just catching
Yeah.
all sorts of L's. But what's up?
Yo, my man said that what got me though, man, was I believe it was my third win. He said something like, I hope this isn't his best, because if it is, he gonna be in trouble. I went on to beat him like 25 zip. It was horrible.
Yeah, I think he
He a
said
good
that
dude
after like
though.
the first or second match.
Yeah, he a good dude though, man. That's good people.
Yeah. K Meg is my boy. I'm on GRG with him every Friday. He's a good guy, and he doesn't care. He's down to give you the smoke as well. If you're willing to play fighting games, holla at K Meg. He does fighting. It's either like Friday night fights or he does Sunday nights as well. Um,
Right.
but yeah, just follow him and you'll be able to follow some fights. But anyways, bro, what are you playing right now? What's going on?
Oh man, I just copped that Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. That's a dope game, man. That's probably Gearbox's best game. I even go as far as to say it transcends Borderlands. In the overall, the presentation is similar to Borderlands, but it
Very.
surpasses it. Because it has the D&D, it goes back to some RPG roots, and it's a very dope game. But I'm playing that. Um, I got WWE 2K22. For any of y'all who are wrestling fans, man, that is the best wrestling game ever created thus far, man. And I and and
I want you to
and I've
talk a
I
little
had
bit about that. Why is this one so great? Because the last one I played, and Matt can attest to this because he was in the party while I was playing it, and I was just hating it. The last one I played was WWE 2K16, and it has like where you hold the stick around. You have to
right, right.
like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, yeah, I remember.
But yeah,
Well,
go ahead and let me know the differences and why this one is the goat.
okay, well, like you just said, man, when they did the thing with the sticks, if I remember, you would grapple or you can flick the stick to do like quick grapples. That was a crazy experience. I mean, it worked a little bit, but it was a little, it was something new. But for this one, right? If you like me and you grew up when this wrestling thing became popping, right? I think my first wrestling game ever, it probably was on the Super Nintendo. It was like WWF, the arcade game. Back then when Undertaker was shooting like demons at people and hitting them with tombstones and they're breaking, and
Yeah, you
it was
talking about them big ass leg drops and everything?
yeah. It was more of an arcade game, man. Matter
Yep.
of fact, it wasn't. It was in an arcade, but see, and then when you get to the Nintendo 64, right? You had WCW, NWO World Tour, then you had Revenge, then you had WrestleMania 2000,
Oh,
then you had No
2000 was
Mercy.
my shit.
Right. So now you think of how much fun we had playing those games.
Mm.
This game right here, it takes everything we love about the more modern wrestlings with being able to create your own character, your own moves, your own style. But it combines that with the fun that we had in those games back then. It also plays more like a fighter, right? And I like to get down in fighting games, man. Soul Calibur 6, that's my game. You already know, man. A couple of things. I mess around in Tech and Dragon Ball. So this plays like the games we grew up on, but better because it's more of a fighter, right? If you hold Y, for instance, you will start guarding strikes. So just like a fighting game, you can also counter. If they are attempting to grapple you or do certain moves, you can
You
hit
can
like
do like a
Y.
parry kind of thing.
Yeah, you can parry also. So if somebody starts a combo on you, X is like strikes, A is heavy, and B is the grab. So if you can kind of guess which they are going to do next, because usually a combo is like 4 or 5 hits, or less. So say you hit me with, and we're talking about the Xbox controls. If you did say XXA, if I know you're going to do XXA, I can hit A right before I think you're going to do it, and it'll let me counter. So you take all the fun of an old school wrestler, all the grappling, man, all the high flying moves, the weapons, all these things, but you combine it with the fast pacedness of a fighter. So when I consider and it looks amazing, man. It looks crazy on these next generation consoles. Like definitely the best wrestling looking wrestling game ever created. So when you
It
take the
does look
fun we had,
nice.
yeah, man. Like, and when I tell people this, they say, that's a hard sell. How can you say that? Man, look, I grew up on all of these things, man. You talking to a dude that spent countless hours creating this dude on everything from Here Comes the Pain to No Mercy. You know what I'm saying? And I believe the last one I played was like 2013 or 2011, one of those. And it kind of was going downhill since then. But this is a return to form, man. If you love those ones we grew up on Nintendo 64 to the Smackdowns on PlayStation, man, you're gonna love this. Trust me. Like it has wrestling, striking, it has everything, man. Creativity. Bro, they got some of everybody on that game. Anybody you can think of, you can download. And then I
I'm gonna
don't
play
even
as
know.
my boy Scott Hall, man.
Yo, for real.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's just a dope game, man. So I'm gonna just say, man, if you're a wrestling fan at all and you like any of the stuff we grew up on, definitely check that game out, man.
All
Definitely.
right, all right. I'm gonna
WWE
have to do that. I
2K22.
think I'm gonna have to pull that trigger for that one. But now let's kind of go back to it. And we didn't really get a chance to talk that much in the green room because you just showed up, just showed up hot, came in hot. So I kind of want to know a little bit of your background. Go ahead and tell me like the first console that you had in your home.
The very first console, man, my mom's had an Atari back in the day, man. I might have dabbled on that like a handful of times before I even knew what gaming really, really was. Um, but my first console that I actually got into and played like, consistently was a NES, a regular Nintendo.
Okay. So in what game in that like intrigued you the most? Because I'm guessing then the Atari was surpassed really fast once you seen the Nintendo.
Oh yeah, man. I'll say my first beginnings of gaming, Super Mario. It had a little two-player mode. I used to play with my brother. You go to during a battle when you try to hit the POW, like the little POW symbol in the middle at the bottom. You remember that? On the very first
Yep.
Mario. I used to play that. We had Duck Hunt, Excite Bike, the original Zelda. The originals, man. Most of the original classics, man. I came up on. I even remember playing y'all remember the Jason game? It was weird as hell. It was like you can go like down and left. It was like a maze. And then when you finally get to fight Jason, it played this like wacky music, and it was like super hard to beat the dude. I remember even that back then, man. So the classics, man, and some that's not so classic. But the NES definitely, man. That was my first console.
Okay. So going from your first console, what was like the next console that you were like, I should say, like marching for? Like you were like, man, I got to get this joint when it comes out because you're aware of gaming now that you have the Nintendo and stuff like that. And
Right.
you went to friends' house. I mean, we all had the friend that had a different console than us, and we were jealous. But at the same time, they wanted to play our games too, so we did a little swapsies every once in a while. But
Right.
let me know what the next thing was for you when it came to gaming.
Oh well, man. Besides that NES, Sega Genesis, man.
Right.
Definitely a Sega Genesis.
Let them know.
Definitely. My brother, cause not my brother, my cousin had one, and then my homeboy that lived out there where we lived at. And this back then, growing up in the projects and shit. So when if you got a console, your ass had to pick one. You know what I'm saying? You either gonna get this one or that one. So I had a Nintendo. My homeboy had a Sega, and when I first seen a Sega and I seen like Sonic the Hedgehog and all these new characters and games, I'm like, yo, I gotta be able to play that somehow. Going to somebody else or something.
So at the time, were you more of a Sega head or a Nintendo head?
Well, man, it's funny because I definitely played Nintendo a lot more extensively, but I actually ended up getting a Sega Genesis, man, and yo, that Streets of Rage and Sonic that like changed the game for me, man. Um, but it's funny, man, because something happened with my cord and my Sega Genesis when I was little, when we were little kids or whatever.
Oh, here we go.
To this
I
day,
probably had the same shit where it cuts off.
yo, yeah, like the cord, man, like the cord was messing up. In my mind, though, I told myself that my sister went behind the TV and did something to the cord. That's what I told myself. Now I don't know how true that is because I was a little kid, but I blamed her. But in my mind, yo, to this day, I say, yo, she messed up my Sega Genesis, man. But now that I'm older, it probably was a little, you know what I'm saying, a shortened or whatever. But yeah, man, that Sega, that was the one that kind of Nintendo was dope, but that Sega is mad cool.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. That Sega was dope. My favorites on that console were Road Rash 2. The
Yeah, man.
Justice League was really dope back then, if you remember that game at all.
Right.
Obviously, the Sonics, Toe Jam, and Earl was a hit. Taz, um,
Battletoads.
like there's a Tasmania game where he went like Taz went to Mars or something like that. That was
Right.
really good. I mean, Blockbuster kept me loaded back in those days because
Facts,
because
bro.
I was 100% going there and looking behind every case, seeing what it was, and we didn't have no Game Pass or any easy access to it. So like you got that 3 days to play it or 5 days to play it, depending on how hot the game was, and then
Right.
that's kind of all you got. So you had to bust your ass and get through the game.
Facts.
And whether you liked it or not, you had to try it. But anyways, kind of curious. Now, you went through that. What ran you into Xbox throughout this now? Because now we're talking about Sega, and I'm sure you grew up playing some PlayStation and whatnot. But
Right.
where was the fork in the road when you're like, all right, I'm going this way?
Okay, so as far as the Xbox, right? I remember, and it's crazy, man. Speaking of WWE, this is back then when I used to play. Man, I think at that time it was like 2006 or whatever. SmackDown versus Raw 2006 or whatever it was called back then. I believe that was out, right? Or '08. It was one of them. But I was playing that, right? Super heavy every day. My brother, my homeboy, my cousins, XYZ. And so I had always wanted an Xbox. Low key, right? Because I was one of them original, Xbox haters. Right. It's crazy because we're in this console sphere, right? This gaming community. And we see a lot of these guys, talking about Xbox, talking about PlayStation, but they don't know where this originated from, right? I was one of the original dudes. Like, yo, what is that, man? Forget that Xbox, man, coming from my PlayStation XYZ.
I was that guy as well. I feel you.
Yo, so the first game I ever seen was the commercial for Fable. And when I seen that Fable commercial, I'm like, I see this little boy looking in like a puddle. He's under like the thumb of a tyrant, right? He's getting oppressed. He's going through all these negative things, but you can make all these decisions throughout the RPG campaign that can affect how you turn out and affect things in the world. I'm like, that is super dope. I ain't never seen nothing like that. And it said on Xbox. I'm like, that looks cool, but forget Xbox. My PlayStation can do better XYZ, right? Much like these dudes of the day, right? So you fast forward a little bit, my homeboy, we chilling at my homeboy house one night. So it's the end of the night, everybody chilling, whatever. So I'm downstairs and I see he has an Xbox. And so I'm like, oh shit, this dude got an Xbox. Let me, I'm gonna check this out and see what he got on it. Then I discover like, oh wow, it's games on the Xbox. Like it's pretty crazy. So let me try this Fable game because I wanted to play it. Man, I played that game all night, like because it pulled me in. It was so intriguing and captivating. So when I played that game that night, I'm like, man, yo, we on this PlayStation thing, but this new Xbox, it got some dope games. So it made me finally, get a 360. Um, me After me experiencing that Fable and me seeing all the dope games they had, um, it came time for the Xbox 360 to come out. And I seen and heard all the things that we're going to try to do with that console, from, making online gaming mainstream in households and trying to push the graphics of the next generation, just doing all these things. Because if you remember, the 360 came out before the PS3. It came out a year earlier. So the 360
And cheaper.
took us into the for facts. The 360, the Xbox 360 took us into the real start of the next generation so we get online games. Like they kicked that off. They even kicked that off with the original Xbox. But anyway, with me seeing what this Xbox 360 is going to do, and me seeing this game called City of Heroes, where you can play online with people and create your own superhero, and something called Saints Row, because the original Saints Row was an Xbox exclusive back then. So me seeing all these new games, I'm like, yo, I got to get that thing. This is the next big thing in gaming, and so that's what made me, choose to get an Xbox 360. Seeing what that everything that an Xbox was going to bring to gaming and where it was going to try to take it.
Okay. Wow. So that's so Fable really kicked you into gear when it came to the Xbox.
Yeah, that was the first game I actually purchased when I got a 360 because I found out it was backwards compatible, right? So I went and purchased the original Fable, like Jedi Knights, I believe, and a Unreal Championship. Bro, I bought all the old Xbox stuff that I wanted to play when I was a PlayStation head on my 360. So when
Mm.
they say nobody buys new consoles or old games, bro, you ain't no gamer then. I bought old games first, bro, because I missed out on it. So
Right. Yeah, I tell you. I mean, there is a lot of games that were on the original Xbox that just flat out performed better because of the hardware that was in there. Like if you go back to like NFL or NBA 2K and you look at the replays at halftime, PlayStation 2
right,
only showed you like they didn't show you like actual footage. They only showed you a picture and with a
right,
description on what happened. But on the Xbox version, the whole play was there. And he's, doing his speech, you know, from the 30, 10, or 30, 20, 10 touchdown and all that stuff. And it's like, it goes hand in hand together really nice. And you can throw the music on the game and everything. I mean, it was incredible. The original Xbox was a big hit, and I think it was to me it's probably one of the most underrated consoles of all time
it is, man, most definitely.
because I loved my thing. I mean, downloading the music on it, just waking up in the morning, getting ready for school, turning on my Xbox and just turning on music. I wasn't even playing any games at that time. Just throw on the music on it. I had it on the hardware on the hard drive already, ready to go. I already had my own playlist, good to go. I mean, that was dope. You could play all the games, well, not all the games, but a good amount of games with that music. And man, it was a fast little console too. If you remember playing Grand Theft Auto on the PlayStation and then turning around and playing it on the Xbox, the load times were drastically different,
Yeah, man.
very different. But anyways, so all in all, I just kind of want to know, why is gaming so dang important to you?
Why is gaming important?
Oh yeah.
Well, for me, man, like in life, man, people go through, different things and they deal with them in various ways, right? Um, so you look at I feel like gaming brings people together for fun. It brings people together to experience something that can take your mind off realities or allow you to, temporarily escape realities or allow you to interact with the creativity and art of man, right? So for some people, man, I even went as far as to say, for me, right? Because I'm more of a straight ass dude. I never liked smoking, drinking, none of that. And I did dabble in, the crunk juice or whatever, alcohol and energy drink. That back then I used to be wild and more, but I never really habitually got into none of that. So for
Okay.
me, gaming for myself and a lot of people can replace bad habits, right? So instead of being out of your mind on something, you can tap into your mind, into the creativity of another, and you can kind of zone in and out like that. But it's you're enjoying yourself, right? Instead of doing something destructive. So gaming is important because it can address so many aspects of life, man. Like if you take that game, what is it called? Psychonauts 2, right? How it taps into the mind and different social orders and anxieties and things. And they made a game based around this. Games can bring awareness to things, man. Games can do everything from making you have fun to bringing awareness to certain issues, to allowing you to see things that you probably will never see. Take Flight Simulator, right? You can see things that real world locations that some may never ever go to. and you can literally fly and see what these things look like, and that's awesome. You know what I'm saying? So gaming
It's pretty
is
incredible.
important because yeah, man, it brings a new way to enjoy life and have fun.
That's what's up. That's a really nice answer. Beautiful. But now I kind of want to go to a different direction. Now you said that you are going to be looking further into making more content down the line. Is that right?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna definitely try to be a little more involved because I never set out to kind of do the whole, like social media or content creation thing. I came into this wanting to more or less discuss gaming and reach out to and or engage with real people, man, other real gamers. But the content creation side of it, if I do that, I'm doing it more, more my style, man, more, I guess more pure, more straight to the point. What telling people what they want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Um, because we have a lot of people kind of copying each other a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like there's kind of a lot of people they lose their identity in it. You know what I'm saying? They lose their identity and it's either cookie cutter and you like this person like, man, we got to get back to what gaming is, man. And I feel like whatever's popular, that's what the person's going to do. So if it's popular to hate on something like let's say Halo or Anthem even back then, if something becomes popular, everybody's going to do it. So my approach to content creation, when I do dabble in it, is to try to keep it 100, man. Like I say, man, I don't mind going against the grain because going against the grain is what's needed in this world. Going against the grain is what make improvements. So that same thing can apply to content creation. So when I do it, man, I try to do it from a real standpoint.
You
You
know,
know, if that kind of answer your question.
I 100% understand that. I mean, I've been asked about like some of the people that I have invited on the show or who's coming in the future, and everyone's wondering, why don't you do it this way, or if I was you, I'd do it that way, and it's just like you ain't doing nothing. Like I'm doing
Right.
what I want to do, and I might not talk to your favorite creator, your favorite gamer every single episode, but I'm not out here trying to impress one person. I'm out here trying to prove to myself that, hey, I can keep it together. I can have a good time. I can meet a lot of different type of people that think a lot of different type of ways. I don't have to agree with them on every single subject, but I didn't grow up in gaming agreeing with anybody on every single subject. There are
Facts.
so many times that I went over to a bro's house and he's like, yo, try this game. And I was like, yo, this is ass. This game is terrible. But you
That's
are
funny.
telling me that I need to go rent this game or go try this game. I'm not going to agree with everybody, and I don't set out to agree with everybody. But what I do set out to do is at least do my best to show respect to everybody. You know what I'm
And
saying?
that's all it's about at the end of the day, man. Respect.
That's
Definitely.
right. That's right. So, so is there a certain kind of umph that made you want to get into content creating at all, or is it just like you just flat out?
Um,
Or yeah, just answer
well,
the question. You good?
well, far as getting to this, man, many people already know, man. I dabbles in the spaces from time to time or whatever. But many people know the way I even came into this whole thing, man. Many of us out here, we can't really say came up. Let's just say, as far as the content creation, Twitter personality, YouTube, or whatever you want to call it. The content creator side of it, many of us seen the way a lot of guys were doing things in the past, right? Some of them kind of stayed consistent. Some of them switched up. Some of them ride whatever's popular. Some of them, stick to their guns. So me watching certain people, for people that don't know, man, I first came into this on the guy. I reached out to the guy, Next Gen, that guy. Um, and I don't got nothing against the dude now, or whatever. But at the time, man, I liked the work he was doing when he was more hardcore Xbox. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt that at times he did speak the truth. It's more comedy now, and some of the shit be funny. But when it came to speaking facts about gaming and the Xbox side of it, I thought dude was cool back then, man. Like, and that's no secret because I ain't no damn hater. Dude was funny. Dude was cool. He kept it, G with it. So that's what I seen back then. I didn't know that it kind of grew to something else. But I came in wanting to kind of go on there and, kind of, give some facts about Xbox. I see there was a lot of, what they call ponies, a lot of Xbox hate. So I, reached out, wanted to go on there, like, to kind of put the facts of these dudes out here saying all this crazy stuff. But that ended up going the way it went, man. It was all right a little bit, but like I said, man, it kind of grew to something else. That it wasn't really sitting right with me, and so it kind of went left a little bit. So I got into this for that reason. I got into this to kick real knowledge about gaming and talk to real gamers such as yourself, man, and discuss the things that need to be discussing instead of kind of mindlessly praising one and never questioning it. Because I see a lot of that goes on, man.
That's true.
There's facts, there's facts and good things about both of the consoles on both sides. But we all know, man, historically Xbox has got the shaft because I mean it's a new dude in town, man. Xbox is a new guy in town. PlayStation was the popular king, and that's how a lot of dudes liked it since we was little. PlayStation, that was the treasure of the living room, man. Treasure if you was a kid, that was like a pair of Jordans back then, that you could get consistent use
You ain't
out of.
lying. You ain't
So
lying.
yeah, man. So and a lot of people they treat the PlayStation brand like a Jordan. It's like the Jordan mentality. It's like if you say anything, it's like going to school coming up. If you didn't wear Jordans or this or that, you were considered lame, a cornball, XYZ or whatever. Um, and so it's the same thing with PlayStation today, right? PlayStation has some great qualities, but it is definitely not the end all be all, and it definitely isn't the king anymore, man. Because if it wasn't for Xbox, man, we wouldn't even be doing gaming the way we're doing it right now, man. We wouldn't. Most people, when you log onto your video game, you're going to people who's online, or you're going to be holler at your friend, your brother, whoever. Xbox made that possible for consoles. They pushed that, right? All this backwards compatibility stuff that's happening now. Xbox pushed that, giving people more value for their money via subscriptions. Xbox pushed that. So I got respect and love for PlayStation for what it's done and the things they do good. But I just feel like there's too much blind loyalty to the PlayStation brand going on. So part of me getting into content creation is to kind of try to balance that out a little bit with the people I engage with anyway.
Like that. I like that because I mean you can even hear it from Xbox side a little bit, like with certain content creators, where it's just like can do no wrong. You
Right.
you just want to hear what you need to hear. You don't need to hear all the fluff of how great the console is constantly. I just want to know about this specific game, how it's
Right.
coming out, how it's gonna play, how like let me hear what your style of game is so I can compare and contrast and have a better idea on it. I don't need you to hop in and say, yeah, this is great because it's made by Xbox or made by PlayStation, or it's got to be a banger because it's made by Nintendo or something like that. Like there is a lot of people that just kind of praise things before they even know whether it's going to be dope or not. And I feel like we're kind of doing that a little bit in our in the Xbox community with Starfield, but then again, bro,
Yeah.
then again, you know, I feel like it's just a lot of excitement with something that we've never heard of after they have mentioned, you know, was it Skyrim meets, space or something like that.
Right.
That
Right.
that sounds really exciting, but at the same time, I know me and many other people are like, I don't want to get too excited yet
Right.
because because Xbox has a history of getting you excited and not exactly coming through every single time. So as long as somebody can come out with content, but be honest the entire time and without bashing another console or company, like just keep it honest with the thing that you are talking about, and stop talking about things that aren't relevant to the content that you create. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. And what you just said, that's 100% spot on, man. Dudes um definitely do that in Xbox community. They definitely do that in PlayStation community, man. They do it in both of them. I actually got into a conversation with a dude that was saying that, like, how can y'all? I'm definitely. You've never seen me make one. I don't think I made one legitimate tweet that was like super praising Starfield, because I'm not that kind of. It's funny, right? Because most people that I guess have something against me or whatever in their minds or whatever, they'll say I'm a bot or whatever, and I defy anybody, I have a one-on-one conversation with you. I'll talk to you anywhere. It don't even got to be in my space. I'm a grown man, dog. Like, tell me how am I a fanboy or a bot in any way? Nobody can never do that because I know what I'm not. Um, because if I was, I'll be praising Starfield blindly. Now I will say this. Um, the same could be said for God of War Ragnarok. Same could be said for Wolverine. The same could be said for well, we seen Forspoken. So I'll just say Wolverine will definitely be the one because I've heard people saying, man, that's gonna be like the best game ever, XYZ. I'm like, you ain't even seen the game yet. And I had a guy, I'm using the same logic, right? You haven't seen the game, everything you're saying to me. The dude was like, but it's Insomniac. So we know it's gonna be a banker. Like, nigga, you don't know nothing. I could say, well, Bethesda made Skyrim. So it's gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's a double standard when it comes to you know, adhering to the facts. Xbox definitely has let us down in certain areas, but also I've never felt like I was kind of like bamboozled, hoodwinked, or like super let down overall by the console because like anything else, man, it's an investment. Especially you're investing into the hardware because of the software you're going to get, and because of the overall vision of the console. Like I said, I got into Xbox for many reasons, man. For some of the games they had at the time, for many of the games that they were coming with in the future, and the complete vision of the company. So for
Yeah,
people
how I
who are
consume my content is a big deal as well. So like if
right,
I remember when the X excuse me. I remember when the original Xbox One came out, the Xbox One, and you had the snap feature. I used to watch YouTube and play Rise Son of Rome at the same time.
right,
That was like people hate on the Xbox One a lot, but some of the hardware in there, yeah, it was a little driven towards TV, but you didn't have to drive it towards TV. Like that second HDMI port, I plugged like my Nintendo Switch in there or my computer and watched movies and stuff off of that. Like I didn't use
right.
it for cable like it was intended to. I used it. I played other games through my Xbox One. It was hilarious because I was able to
Yeah,
listen to Spotify from my Xbox and play Nintendo Switch games at the same time. And I don't think a lot of people thought of doing something like that, but it was dope.
yeah. That's it's funny, man, because you can do a lot of things with that Xbox, man, that they kind of get clowned for, right? They were saying we want more games, less media, XYZ. But again, the vision that Microsoft had, right? I feel like they were ahead of the ahead of their time on the Xbox One, definitely, man. Because everything, and I said this in spaces multiple times, man. Everything we doing right now is what they wanted to do back then. We always online anyway. It's some dudes out here that I literally know of a dude, right? And I'm gonna touch on this next time I do a space, man. He's one of the dudes that be talking a lot. This man tweeted 50 times, 50 times today. Tweeted or shared a tweet. That's insane to me, man. That's insane to me because you have to always be online to do that, right? So when Xbox is getting this flack for having to always be online, you fast forward now. We always online anyway. Even if you're playing a single player game, you're peeping your friends list, you're seeing what this person doing, you're seeing what that person doing, you're going on YouTube, you're going on Twitter, you're doing all these things. You're always online anyway. Most people they even did a scientific study to separate people from their cell phones. And they said losing your cell phone produced the same emotional effect as kind of, being separated from your best friend. Right? It's pretty crazy. So people are
It's a
kind
little
of,
sad, but it is what today is, you know.
yeah, bro. So, always being online and all these visions they had with the original Xbox One, man, we doing that anyway, man. It was just ahead of its time, far as that part is concerned. The Xbox always been highly innovative piece of hardware, man, and that's part of the reason, like I said, man, why I prefer it. It ain't about blindly sticking with it. It's like when you invest in anything in life, man, it's not about the right now. It's about what can I get out of this in the future? Where is this going to go? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And so that,
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I still use my original Xbox for music from time to time. So I mean,
that's crazy.
it's still good. It's still good to go, you know. But um, but yeah, let's move a little bit forward. I want to know throughout your time of gaming, what was the most beloved console of all time and why?
Throughout all of gaming,
Through all of gaming, if you were
my
to
most beloved
desert island yourself, what console are you taking with you?
at this point, at this very point in time, I'm taking my Xbox Series X. I ain't going front, bro. And that's it.
I don't think
Right.
I've had anybody use a current console as their all time.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, if I could pick from anywhere, definitely gonna be this Xbox because every single thing I grew up playing, I can have on this the emulation in developer mode. If I want to play, literally, I can pack every single game right into that. Right, we all know what emulation is, man. Um, so I could do that, or I can. I mean, if we have access to everything, right, I'm good, man. I got like, man, I think I have over like 500 games or something, like that's
Damn.
accumulated. Right, it's pretty crazy, man. Over time through everything, buying them games with gold. I'm counting Game Pass definitely. Just everything, man. Game share my brother. I got everything I need. Now, if I got to pick from an old school console, it has to be an old school console.
Okay, yeah. Second question. Go ahead.
If I'm gonna do old school console, man, I love the Sega, but I invested so much time into the Super Nintendo. That's where most of my old school gaming was. So
That's
it'd be that
dirty.
one.
That's dirty. I don't like the way you led me on right there. I really don't appreciate that, bruh. I really don't like that. You led me on to think, oh man, I thought you was finna say Sega. And then
Man,
you backhanded me with that dirty ass Nintendo.
I would have said Sega, man, but man, I got too many childhood memories in the Super Nintendo with my brother there, man. So I gotta default to that just because, man, Nintendo. I, the games I grew up on Nintendo, I repurchased on the Switch. That's how powerful the Nintendo
I'm
nostalgia
about to
is for me.
end this stream. This is some bullshit. That's an ass that question. We moving on now. We moving on. All
I
right,
love
bro.
Sega.
Stop it. It's too late. The damage is there. But anyways, all right. So this is the little game that I like to play. So without overthinking, I'm gonna name a console, and I want you to tell me the first game that kind of comes to your mind. All right.
All right,
If you don't know a game for that console, just say pass.
all right.
So the first one I'm gonna bring up is gonna be the. Let's go with the Dreamcast.
First game that popped in my mind, Psychic Force.
Wow, that's way random. I didn't expect you to even think of that. All right, so then the next one is gonna be the OG Xbox.
Fable.
Fable. All right, PlayStation 2.
SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain.
Okay, let's go. OG PlayStation.
Digimon World.
Okay, didn't see that
Definitely.
coming. N64.
Super Mario 64.
Oh wow, I thought you were gonna say WrestleMania or No Mercy.
I thought about those. You said the first one, so I'm just trying to keep it 100.
All right, got you. Let's make it hard. Sega Saturn.
Sonic. Didn't really get too much hands-on time with that. So I'm gonna just say Sonic.
Fair enough. All right, let's go way back to the NES.
Oh man. Super Mario World. The original.
Okay. Um, let's go with a couple more. Next one's gonna be PlayStation 3.
Naruto. What was it called? Ultimate Ninja Storm, I believe was the original one. Because
Yeah. Yeah,
when
yeah,
I
yeah.
first
I know it was Ultimate something.
yeah, when I now that when I seen that game run on the PlayStation 3, I'm like, bro, Now, yo, I'm low key jealous of that because that looks like the show. Like like I said, I ain't no PlayStation hater. I prefer Xbox, but I keep it 100. When I seen Ultimate Ninja Storm on that PS3, I'm like, boy, that is like the show. That I want that game. But we have it. It later came to Xbox, and it didn't. Admittedly, it didn't look as good. Right? It was good enough, but it ain't remind me of what that when I seen that PS3 demo and like that Walmart and that Best Buy. Man, that looked like the show, man. So yeah, that Ninja Storm was something crazy.
All
PS3.
all right, so let's go to the other side. 360.
Bad Company 2. X number one knife in the
Oh,
world,
let's
nigga.
go.
Show.
All right, all right. And then the last two is what I like to do every episode as well. I want you to name a future PlayStation and a future Xbox game without it being God of War or Starfield. I want you to tell me the first game that comes to mind for future games.
The next Fable. That's my most anticipated this generation Xbox game. Fable. That's my favorite RPG of all time. So I'm hyped for that. And seeing with what they did with Forza Horizon 5, I'm more than confident that next Fable gonna satiate whatever. Bro, you can give me an essential remake of the original, kind of like Crackdown 3 was essentially a remake of Part 1. Like if we're gonna be 100 about it, right? You can give me the first one remade, new enough but familiar enough, I'll be fine. But I'm confident that Fable, bro. Like you had to go off on that little tangent because I love Fable, and I feel every idea that Peter Monalou had back then that he wasn't able to kind of incorporate into the game, it's more than possible with the technology we have today. So Fable, definitely. For the Xbox. As far as PlayStation, Twisted Metal. I want to see
Let's
I want to see
go.
them, bro.
I just
These dudes,
I
hey,
just copped
these
this
dudes,
today. I just went and copped this boy today.
oh wow.
Let's go.
Which one is that? Hold on, which one
Four.
is that? I'm trying to see. Oh yeah, yeah, four. Yeah, that was a nice one. I think my favorite one of all of them had to be three. I believe three
Three was
because
legit as well. I think that one had like the White House that you went to.
yeah, I think you could create your own car on three. I think that's when that started. I'm not sure, but Sweet Tooth, that's my dude, man. Definitely.
I was
I
Mr.
want to
Grimm.
see.
I liked Mr. Grimm and Thumper.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I want to see PlayStation get back to their roots, man. These guys that be talking about PlayStation that's what and that's what irks me about these guys. When they talk about PlayStation, they're not talking about what a PlayStation has historically been, right? They're talking about the new like end of PS3 era, PS4 primarily identity of PlayStation. When I think of PlayStation, I think of Twisted Metal. I think of Bushido Blade. I think of Armored Core. I think of Digimon World 1, 2, Digimon Rumble Arena, Suikoden, Jade Cocoon. I think of all these games, Front Mission. I think of all this stuff, right? That was
Did you ever
amazing
play?
back then.
Did you ever play? What was that game? God damn! It was like it was a cart game. Um, for
Crash Team
the
Racing,
no, it wasn't Crash Team Racing. It was Speed Punks.
Speed Punks, Speed Punks.
That was for the
I probably,
OG PlayStation. Really hard game to get a hold of.
yeah, I probably didn't play that then. I probably didn't play that because that ain't really stick out immediately.
Bruh, that game was so fire. But yeah. I hear what you're saying though. Like the classics, third party PlayStation back with the PlayStation 2 and original PlayStation. Those things had so many games. It wasn't just reliant on SIE at all. It was everywhere.
And that's what I'm saying, man. You can only find many of those games on PlayStation, even if Sony wasn't making them, right? Because back then, what games were Sony even making back then? Like, what games that was big on the original PS1? Most of everything that was popping was third party. See what I'm saying? But it was only available on the PlayStation platform. So for people who say, well, Sony didn't make it, Sony didn't make a lot of the stuff that was popping back then. See what I'm saying? Just like now. So that's not an excuse. They could, the same way they partnered to bring Spider-Man back, they can bring this back and that back. They can try to reach out to bring whatever back. Same for Xbox, man. So we got to start making excuses for these companies. If they really wanted to try to bring back an IP, it's up to us as gamers to kind of remind them of those IPs and kind of ask for it.
Yeah, I need to holler at
Honestly.
them about making another Marlo Briggs because that game was fire.
Oh yeah.
That game was so good, but the story was a little stupid, kind of ridiculous, but it kind of went with the style of the game, you know. I was watching somebody that was talking about the Devil May Cry that was made for for from Ninja Theory, and
Right.
that game a lot of people hated about how the story was put together and how it was so much different than the original um, Devil May Cry games. And I was thinking, like sometimes the game is meant to be like super duper cheesy, whether you like it or understand or love the jokes or not. It just kind of is what they wanted. It was like Matt likes games, like to say, it was the artist's vision.
Right. Facts.
It is what it is. Just take it or leave it. Call it a day. They don't care anymore, especially for those older games because there was no updating. You got what you got.
Yeah.
There was that was it. If the game was buggy, you got a lifelong buggy game.
Yo, and that's what get me, man. That's what get me because people love to kind of complain about gaming today, right? Like you said, we got what we got back then, bro. We got, bro. Like I remember Armored Core Last Raven for the PlayStation, right? The first the PS2, right? Yeah, it was the PS2. If I remember looking that game up, because I remember that game, I'm a fan of Armored Core, right? I even went as far as to say if Armored Core 6, which I doubt it will be, and it'd be foolish if it did, if that was PlayStation 5 exclusive, that'd definitely possibly push me to go looking for a PlayStation 5, man. Because Armored Core is my gaming DNA.
It's that
That was one of
history,
the
man.
original.
It's more about
Hey, that's when
I'm gonna stop you real quick and say it's more about the history of the games that should make you want to follow a console than
right.
just blind love.
Exactly. And that's the point. And that's the point, man. Because Armored Core, that's gaming DNA. That's a demo disc DNA. That's what I call it, bro. That was one of the first games I ever played on PlayStation. The original Armored Core you can pick from the little more the dude with it was a shorter bot and it was a more huskier bot. And you was playing that little like forest stage. And I've never played nothing like that ever, a game ever. Like you can fly in the air, shooting missiles and seeing that was crazy to me. So I played, bro. I probably put, I don't even know. I had to put probably 100 hours in that demo, right, all together. I
God
swear to
damn,
goodness.
you were wearing
But
that demo. You
hey,
couldn't read it no more.
yo, hey, yo, but yo, like, so it's like, man, this whole gaming thing, man, and the dudes that love PlayStation out there, man. Hey, I ain't no hate with me. It's just that I feel like with a lot of these guys, if you're not blindly loyal to a PlayStation, you don't question nothing at all. You just a servant. You got to fall in line, or they're gonna turn on you and they're gonna turn against you. And this has been proven because that's how that is. Xbox, they have some fanboys too, but they are a little more tolerant and a little more friendly, right? And you can hear this from even PlayStation fans, not fanboys, fans. There are zealots on both sides, definitely. But I feel like when it comes to the Xbox side, man, because that's how I try to hold them spaces when I do them. I allow everybody to come in there and talk, man. I don't care what you play. I don't care what you like. I ain't gonna never call you no nickname for what you like. I'm never gonna be like, oh, we got a bunch of ponies up in here and trying to be little and demean people. I ain't never gonna do that. I might joke, we might joke around or whatever, but we can take the jokes back. But I feel like with a lot of these dudes today, and it's not even getting no fanboy shit. We speaking as real men. I feel like coming from that culture where PlayStation was king historically, if you kind of don't blindly bow down and worship a PlayStation, then they try to question your gaming credentials. They try to find anything to say about you to silence you. Like hell, right now for people who don't even know, I got a little temporary ban on Twitter because I wasn't even talking to a certain dude up there. Right now, I ain't even gonna try to make your whole thing about drama or whatever. I wasn't even talking to a certain dude. I ran into one of the dudes in um I ran into one of the dudes Unless you want me to say their names, or how you feel about that?
Nah, go ahead and keep their names out of it. I don't need
Okay, okay.
that.
Yeah, yeah. So let's just say I ran into a certain known popular PlayStation personality, right? I bumped into him in a little space or whatever. Uh, he was saying a bunch of nonsense to me. That it was filled with a bunch of cap. There's a bunch of data and numbers, and none of us are CEOs, bro. We here to talk about games and the facts of why we do this. So so I checked him on some stuff. Um, quiet down a little bit. He came back, ain't really say too much, checked him on whatever he was trying to say, and he ended up leaving, right? And I feel like after that, dude had a sour taste in his mouth, man. So he started mentioning my name. I caught wind of it. Somebody tagged me in a post, so I mentioned his name, and hey, I'm gonna hit you. You hit me, I'm gonna hit you back, bro. That's how that's supposed to be. Then a third party interjected himself in the conversation. Um, the whole gang pack mentality thing. So I checked the individual, like, I don't know why you talking to me, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? You already know what it is when it comes to me and you. I've been invited for a grown man conversation plenty of times. You didn't show up not one time. So I don't understand. Like, you 40 plus years old, dude. You know what I'm saying? You got multiple kids, you got a wife. Ain't no grown man should be acting the way you act. And so he said something to me that was slick. So I said something to him, keeping it a grown man. I ain't threatening nobody. No matter what you hear, I ain't threatening nobody, no life. I ain't do none of that. I just kept it real. And so because they can't best me on intellect, gaming or nothing, frankly, they mass reported my tweets and one of them stuck. You know how that go. And I guess because I said I would do this or I would say this, they took that as it fell under the violence or hate or something, whatever. But I ain't
Like
say
a
nothing too
threat
crazy.
kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. They took it as a threat, but pretty much I say I would say I'll slap the B out of you, but XYZ or whatever. Right? I said I would say. I censored all the words and all. I guess that was enough to get me, get me put in the hole for a little bit. So yeah, man. So I feel like they do these things, right? I don't mind people if you're innocent in this and somebody's harassing you over your gaming preference, you have all right to report people. All right, man. But if you out here constantly harassing Xbox fans or anybody else, and you every other word out your mouth is bot this, bot that, F nigga this, F, you know what I'm saying? If all you do is try and belittle people, and try to put them down about a console, dog, you can't cry wolf when somebody give you that same energy. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much what happened with me, man. It's dudes that want to, if you're not down with the PlayStation brand, they feel like they can disrespect you, mercilessly. And so when I came up doing this, and I kind of showed people like, you don't got to take that. You know what I'm saying? Nah, deal with these dudes. We all grown men. If we have an MP blackout right now, like I tell people, ain't none of this gonna matter. You're gonna have your word. You're gonna have your reputation. You're gonna have who you is at heart. So I'm gonna treat you just like you is. We all grown men, so you're gonna talk to me like one, right? And if you don't want to do that, then I'm gonna remind you that offline we grown men. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like with a lot of these grown men out here, if you're not blindly worshiping a PlayStation, they feel like they can disrespect you. It's either they either feel like they can disrespect you, or you're gonna be a punching bag, like certain individuals we know in this game community. There are certain Xbox guys that are cool with these types, but they play the role of a jester, right? They're cool to an extent. If they start, I guess, capping for Xbox so hard, they're gonna start disrespect you to kind of, remind you of your place. Like, yeah, we cool, nigga, but you gotta remember that, it's PlayStation over here, so you'll shut that up. I hate that kind of stuff. That's a bully mentality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I rock the way I rock and I do what I do. So a lot of people that may not, it's people that got me blocked. I never had any kind of exchange with, any kind of discourse with, no kind of conversation. They blocked
Same.
me off. Huh? Go
I
ahead. I
said
didn't hear you.
same. I said the exact same because just because
Oh yeah.
I associate or talk to certain people, they feel the need to block me, which is fine to me. I really don't care.
Right, man. Because it ain't even really about that. It's the closed mindedness for me. Hell, it's people that'll probably block you for even interviewing me right now. You know what
Sure.
I'm saying? Just because that's a little too close for comfort for them. Because at the end of the day, we know, and because when I see it on the Xbox side, anytime I've ever seen an Xbox guy grossly disrespect the PlayStation guy or anybody else, I check them on it. Like, you can't be doing that, bro. That ain't what we do. I would be a hypocrite if I allow you to be that way to a person and I stand against that. Now, if they do something to you to deserve that get back, okay, that's different. But anytime I ever see anybody disrespect somebody out of pocket, I check them on it. I might have my man Thrash in there one time. He came on one of my earlier spaces, and somebody said something to him out of pocket, and I was about to step away, and I caught what he said, the tail end of me stepping out, and I said, don't ever say that again, bro. You treat if that man act like a man, you treat him like one, right? You will never really see a lot of them do to give an Xbox fan the same courtesy. So I get people. That's why I'll be a little abrasive with people sometimes because I'm a very respectful, loving, and peaceful dude. And I often give people courtesies that they don't give myself. So when I see that you kind of take kindness with weakness and feel like you're gonna keep disrespecting people, then I'm gonna treat you how you'll be treated in reality. You know, because I don't know everybody's background, but I know my background. I've 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 been in a lot of places where that you just can't fly with that. This doesn't exist offline. And that's why Beats the Truth is, the kind of way he is now, because I see a lot of people acting ways that it just can't apply in reality. So I don't see, I'm not here on no fake stuff. I'm here to all this, I'm telling you, this is me. You're right. The respectfulness, the gaming knowledge, all that, all this is me. I just feel like a lot of people in this for the wrong reason, to be characters, to be self-servient instead of trying to bond with the community. Right. And that's whack. And I ain't mean to go off on a tangent there, bro. It's just, it's kind of crazy. We all supposed to be able to have fun, talk games, be real. But I see too many people trying to silence others, man, because it's simply a threat to you, man. Blocking them, getting them banned. That's weak to me. And if you got to do all that, then maybe you shouldn't be in this, doing a gaming community thing in the first place, man, because that's some sucker-ish. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But yeah, we can get back.
I
We can
find
get
it
back
if
to the.
you if you feel the need to get personal with somebody, or like, you know, say some just absolutely out of pocket things that have nothing to do with gaming, yet you're
Right,
sitting over here blocking people as well.
right,
You got to take a long look in the mirror.
exactly,
And
exactly.
I mean that's all I'm trying to say, because I mean, I can understand, you know, somebody says something that gets under your skin a little bit about your favorite console, but you got to understand these people are just are the same types of people that like developers and stuff are. Like, developers have friends on the Xbox side, friends on the PlayStation side. Same as content creators and people that, you know, associate themselves. I mean, like you said, you talk to Thrash and stuff like that sometimes.
Well, yeah, in the past, I spoke with him. Like I said, we ain't got the best relationship, but like I said, when
But you can
dude being,
speak. That's
yeah, yeah,
the point
oh yeah, definitely,
is that you're not scared to say what you got to say and just keep
oh
it
yeah, man.
moving.
Right, right. And that's the thing with me, man. Anybody that ever want to holler at me on anything, we keep it real and respectful, I'm down. But it's crazy when a lot of dudes ain't willing to get that same courtesy out of fear. Because truth be told, man, we both know a lot of guys out here, they ain't really gamers like they say they is. And they're afraid to be embarrassed by people who really are. Right. And so it's easy to kind of wall that person off or try to cancel him or do whatever because it's safer for you. Because if you do that capping around a wrong person, it's just like in real life, man. If you're trying to act like a fake thug and gangster in real life, and in a real gangster see you doing that, like, bro, what are you doing? And then they kind of press you, and then now your bubbles pop. It's the same thing in the gaming community, except what you can do online, you can kind of block people and wall them off and create your own false narratives. Because that they try to do that with me several times. Like Beast of True punches babies. He sweet chin music
He
old women.
punches babies.
Hey yo, hey yo, my nigga. Like you've seen some of the things they try to counsel me for, right? So it's like it's easier to try and silence your enemy to get them a platform, to prove you wrong. And piece of truth, I challenge anybody out there. If you feel like I'm wrong or anything, or you think you know more gaming than me, bro, I'm open. Come respect when we good. Hey, but like I said, man, cowards gonna try to, block us, wall us off, and spin their own narratives, right? So, it is what it is. But like I said, man, I'm down to
It
talk to
is what
everybody
it
though. Like
is.
you
It
said,
is what it is. It don't even matter, man. And in the long scheme of things, you know, it don't matter at all.
right,
This
man.
this is supposed to just be about fun, having a good time, chilling when you ain't got to do anything serious. Last thing I give a
Fact.
damn about is answering somebody to feel validated on a tweet. Like, I don't care
There
about
you
any of
go.
that. But yeah, let's move along with something else.
Fact, fact, fact.
um, so, what is a genre of gaming for Beast that he just don't play?
A genre of gaming. A genre. I can't say. I was gonna say FIFA, but that's a whole game,
Yeah, that's just a
not a
sport.
genre. So something that I don't play, man. I'll say don't play. Don't play. I dabble in some of everything. So let's say my least favorite. Can I do that?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, least favorite would probably be RTS.
Oh, okay.
Like the
Real time strategy.
yeah, that'll probably be my least favorite, depending on how it's done.
Okay, so is like an age a game that you're not gonna play?
Like the Age of Empires, things like
Yeah.
that. Right. Okay. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's not that's not really if now even though it's in that genre, right? It can be done in such a unique and engaging way that it can pull me in. So it's my least favorite genre, but I'll give you an example of one that did pull me in all the way. You ever heard of a game called Blade Storm?
No.
It's by Koei Mega Force, or what the people who make Dynasty Warriors, pretty much.
Okay.
I think it was either them or some of their affiliates, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm pretty sure it was them because you can unlock skins for some of the people and weapons in Dynasty Warriors. But that was an RTS game, and since I was a fan of Dynasty Warriors, and I never seen nothing like that at the time, and it was on 360, it kind of pulled me in because I'm like, I get to control my own armies, and the way they did it was kind of dynamic. Everything's in real time. You're running all over the field. It's less like a RTS when you got to constantly manage and sub selections and menus, and more like an action game. Except your army is doing more fighting instead of you. It's the opposite of Dynasty Warriors. Put it like that. Dynasty Warriors is you versus 1,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
Blaze Storm, you had your own armies. You had your general, who's your dude. He can take a couple of dudes if he have to, but it was all dependent on your army. But you traverse the field taking castles and things in real time. So I can get down with it. It wasn't too overly complicated, and pretty much, man, I didn't spend more time in the menu than I did playing. And that's usually the issue with RTSs. Like, I feel like you're engaging with the menu a little too much and
Right.
you're watching the gameplay fold out, which it's not all that bad, but I need one that's more engaging. That's what Blade Storm kind of did for me.
That's dope. Yeah, yeah. Wow. So yeah, so you like to play anything pretty much, but there is certain games, and it happens to be RTS that kind of slows down your pace when it comes to wanting to
Right.
try it.
Right.
Got it. Simple enough. So now I want you to go into last year, 2021, and I want you to give me 3 of the best titles of last year, and give me one of those 3 as the champion of them all.
Three
I have
games
a
from
feeling
last
I know where this is going to go, but go ahead.
year. 3 games from last year.
Yes.
Forza Horizon 5. Forza Horizon 5. Definitely have to say that one. Let me see. Forza Horizon 5 last year. I mean, I gotta throw Halo in there. I gotta throw Halo in there because I haven't historically always been a Halo fan, but that game, the gameplay in that game is so smooth and tight. It is definitely dope. A third one, I'm trying to do a third party. Uh, it's on my list, man. Third game. Third game. Man, you about to make me have to open up my Xbox app, man. Let me see what I got.
You said one just a moment ago. Maybe it's just not up there for you.
Yeah, man. I'm trying not to put all Xbox games. Last year, man.
This is your 3 games. It don't matter if you choose all Xbox or not. They're
But, see,
yours.
well, yeah, you saying last year, right? And I played some of everything. So last year, man, I got into Cyberpunk last year. I mean, that don't really
Bruh,
count.
stop.
They don't really. They don't really. I
That
don't know,
don't
man.
count. That don't count. Don't
So,
give me that. Don't give me
give
that.
me. Hey, what? Name some games that came out last year.
All right, I
Give
got
me
you.
a little. Give me some.
The Ascent, Psychonauts 2,
Okay.
Returnal,
Okay.
The Medium, Outriders,
Okay.
Artful
Okay.
Escape.
Okay.
Should I
Hold
keep
on. You
going?
said it. You
Should I keep
said
going?
nah.
Marvel's
Outright.
Guardians of the Galaxy, Riders Republic. Should I
Outriders.
keep going?
Nah,
Okay.
nah, Outriders. I play so many, bro. I dabble in some of everything, man. So I could not put my finger on one. But you said it, Outriders, man. That was a game that I was up on and champion before it came out because we all know what happened with Anthem. The problem with Anthem, amazing overall game, amazing.
Yes,
Gave
and
you
we're
the
going to
feel
be
of
talking
Iron
about that
Man,
on one of my shows this Sunday. But yes, continue.
bro.
Yeah, it's an amazing game.
Amazing game. The loot was the problem. I tell people, if you gonna make a looter, you have to have a great loot system. That's what holds your game together. There's a
Get the
reason.
same damn gun 30 fucking times.
Yo. That's what did it in. When I first seen gameplay and I seen the loot system, I'm like, okay, is there any variation to these legendaries when they drop? I keep seeing the same, legendary role. Okay, you can get different little sub stats that's either gonna give you more attack or defense, but I need them to do something else.
Right.
And if this all is going to be, nah, this game gonna have trouble, especially with no PvP. If they would have maybe put PvP in there, it would have still been bumping a
Oh,
little bit.
bruh, PvP on an Anthem? Give them a
Oh
big
yeah,
ass
man.
fucking arena and let them go at it?
Yep,
Let's
it
go. That would
remind
have
me.
been dope.
Yeah, man. When I seen the legendary system and I seen that they weren't gonna do PvP, I'm like, yeah, this game, yeah, it's gonna burn out kind of fast, man, because you're giving us only co-op and the loot is trash. The loot system trash. Like it's cool until you get to end game, and now you're gonna get the same gun like you said 30 times. There's no system that I'm gonna get anything for breaking down legendaries at the time anyway. Like they later added to where you can roll the little boxes that give you gear or whatever, but you still had the same problem. Because if I get the same two guns, I can't enhance one with the other or anything. So yeah, man. But anyway, it was about Outriders. Outriders had that same problem. When I seen Outriders and I seen the fact that they said legendaries will drop the same every time, I'm like, yep, that game's gonna be awesome until you get the end game. But in no game should you get the exact same legendary when it drop. Ever. That makes no sense. Because when you look at looters, there's a reason Path of Exile has been played since it came out back in the PC days. There's a reason even Warframe, man. Warframe is not a traditional looter, but it has enough going for it. You can search for that perfect Riven because they have like a loot system with Rivens now, right? Which is kind of a customizable mod or randomized mod. So that definitely gives you a reason. But yeah, man, when I seen Anthem, I mean not Anthem, Outriders, I'm like, dang, every time you get a legendary, you're gonna get the same gun. The rolls ain't even random, bro. The rolls, like the plus life steal attack, that ain't even random. That was crazy to me. If they would at least made those random, we'd have been working with something. I even proposed a change to the Anthem community because I joined on Reddit. And I don't even do Reddit or no stuff like that. But um at the time, I was so into the game, I joined, made a little account or whatever, and I proposed a change. A good bit of people was digging, but it seemed that the developers of Anthem, I mean, not Anthem, I keep saying Anthem, Outriders was more focused on fixing things that didn't really need the attention. Like, did it have a couple of bugs here and there? Yeah, but they didn't need your attention more than trying to maintain and retain your player base, right?
Right.
My suggestion, I suggested for that game was allow the base rolls to be randomized on legendaries, just like on everything else while you beating the game, and allow a third mod slot, man. Um the legendary roll will be static, and your other two will be random. That'll fix the whole game right there. So that means I can look for the perfect variation of this gun or that gun or a lifestyle version of it. You see what I'm saying? I'd have still been playing that game today. So I feel like a lot of when people make looters, I feel like a lot of developers forget the point of a looter, man. Like you can have a dope game with amazing gameplay, but if that loot is not there, your game will burn out, man. Your game will burn out. Um,
And the map
and again,
system in
man,
that game is god awful.
yeah,
It,
man.
it is
Yeah,
it is just not good. Just everything's yellow. Everything's a yellow marker in that game. So trying to be able to tell
yeah,
what is what from what, like you even seeing your character and seeing where to go, you're just like, fuck, man, like where am I at half the time?
Yeah,
Not,
man.
they definitely. I feel like if they if they would have did a little bit more QA testing and took maybe like another year to make that game, it would have been a lot better.
Yeah, definitely, man. And it still ain't too late, man, because we live in a
Oh, it's not
we
it.
update games.
It to me the the fundamentals of that game are there, one hundred
Yep.
percent. It just needs to be just tweaked a little bit. Like maybe make a maybe make a an Outriders 2 and just address those things that a lot of people are complaining about. And then you got to kill a game for a long time. Destiny, the original Destiny was a great game, but they
Right.
addressed a lot of issues going forward in Destiny 2. Yes, it had its issues at launch, but look at it now. Look at it
Oh
right
yeah.
now. That game
I
is
tell people, man.
unstoppable right now.
I tell people, Destiny is a video game. If you remember why we doing this, that's a 10 out of 10 game. You have co-op, PvP, PvE, looting, raids. Man, you have everything. Every customization, clans. Well, more crossplay. That's the cherry on top.
Yep,
Like right
that just
now.
came out just like what I think I was talking to a buddy about it, like 2020, I believe that came out or something like that.
Yep. Yep. We even when we found out about it, I even me, my guy Jersey's finest, we all try to put people on. Yo, Destiny 2, we hear y'all out here talking this smack in the gaming community. But how many of y'all are gamers, man? Destiny 2 is full crossplay. We can hop on there, we can PvP, we can do whatever, but it's definitely in it's full crossplay, meaning we can make, you know, I pick who I want from this side, give you who you want from that side. It can be me and two PlayStation dudes, two Xbox dudes in a Stadia, whatever. It is full crossplay and offers everything you could want out of a game as far as interactions and modes. Yo, get up on this. I see y'all running y'all mouth, man. Let's hop on this Destiny. Nobody ain't want to do it. All of a sudden, when Sony purchases or comes into a partnership or whatever with Bungie, it's Destiny 2. How many hours you got, bro? I want to hear that. Because when we were trying to get y'all on Destiny 2, now one person wanted to play. And since that the acquisition, now one of y'all has been on there. But I see everybody in that community try to praise that game because Bungie was with them now. That's the kind of stuff we don't need, bro. That's the stuff I'm talking about. Like we were trying to get everybody on this amazing game. Amazing game, man. Nobody want to do it. But everybody and their mama want to cap for the game after the Bungie purchase. And still not none of y'all hopped on there. Yeah, that's what set me off right there. That kind of stuff, man. It's so fake, man. It's disingenuous. But yeah, Destiny is a 10 out of 10 game, man. It's a 10 out of 10 perfect. It's a perfect game, bro. But you did say something. I feel like when it comes to Destiny 2, they redid that game because the framework was meant for the older consoles. It wasn't really meant for the more upgradable and updatable consoles like we have now that started in the Xbox One and the PS4. So I feel like they kind of had to remake Destiny 2. When it comes to Outriders, though, any game that came out since the Xbox One and PS4 and onward, they don't really have to remake those games. They can update them. They can overhaul those games. Look at everything from Warframe to Fortnite. What's the other one? That space game where you can go to all these planets and discover your own.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. Countless games. We can name countless games that are nothing like what they were when they first came out. So if they really wanted to, they can completely rework that entire game to where it's like a part 2. But they have to want to do it because we are now in a generation of game to where they can be beautifully improved upon just like a PC. And so there's no need for sequels. If a company really don't want to, they don't got to make a sequel. Simply update the game and maybe charge for the update. If you really got to do it like that, at least you get to maintain your data or whatever. But yeah, in these consoles, they really don't have to make sequels if they don't want to. Like I think a sequel. I think if you make a game and you left a bad taste in your players' mouths, definitely don't do a sequel. That'll turn people off. That's why I didn't get into Destiny 2, and that's why I didn't get a couple of games. The Division, none of those games. If you make a game and you don't deliver on essentially your promises in a big way, you can forget about me buying part two. I'm gonna wait for that shit. I'm gonna wait for that to go on sale. Cause the Game Pass is something, but I'm not spending my money on that. Like I'm a big Battlefield player, and they already talking about what we learned from 2042. Bro, I'm not buying that. I ain't buying that game. Like, I'm not, nigga. Like this coming from an ex. Hey, yo, this coming from an ex number one knifer, bro. Back in the Bad Company days, I love me some Battlefield, but I'm not buying whatever is after 2042. If you don't rectify this in a big way, I'm not buying that, bro. Because come on, dog, you can fix that game right now. You just gotta want to. That's all I'm saying.
I
Crazy.
feel that. That was funny though. You said I ain't buying that.
I'm not buying hell no, bro. You crazy.
That's funny. But I want to shout out the chat real quick. I appreciate everybody that came through. I'm just gonna name off a few people that are here. We got Matt Likes Games, Too Big, Dragonheart Yobi. We got Eternal Umbra that just came in. Charlie Hustle. Let's see. Immortal Gamer. Holla at me if I left you out. Those are just the ones that I'm just scrolling real quick and seeing. Oh, and
What's going
Blind
on,
Giant.
y'all?
Yeah, what's up? What's up,
What's going on?
everybody?
Appreciate y'all coming through to, tune into the interview. Appreciate that. Definitely.
But did you ever name the best game of last year?
The best game of last year.
Of the three that you mentioned?
Oh, Forza Horizon 5, easy. Ain't no competition.
Wow. I thought you were gonna say Halo, but
Nah, I've never been a real big Forza or Halo fan, right? If I was a bot, I'll be capping for them shits all day, bro. But nah, man, I'm a gamer. I love games. So Halo, it always interested me, but I was a Battlefield man. I felt like if I play too many sci-fi or arcadey type games, even Call of Duty, I despised Call of Duty. So I felt like if I play anything that wasn't as crisp and more realistic like Battlefield, fairly realistic anyway, that it'd throw my game off. So I never really Halo always interested me. But I never got into it. It was always dope though. Outriders, for the aforementioned reasons, why I can't be the greatest. Forza Horizon 5, man. The greatest racing game ever created thus far, besides Midnight Club Dub Edition. That's my shit. They didn't bring that back.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Put some respect on Dub Edition.
Hey, bro. If they remaster Dub Edition online, GG, bro. GG.
Right.
Yo, so
you ain't lying. Please leave the songs in there too, because that was half the game.
Oh man, the Big Timers, the Yin Yang Twins, Twister, bro. You talking about nostalgia on a PlayStation? Midnight Club, Dub, man, come on now. That's I don't know, man. Me and my little brother gaming all day, all night, customizing our cars, man, going to races. Yo, it's crazy.
Hey, bro, on the Xbox, you could listen to your own music, but the soundtrack was so fire, you just didn't even care half the time.
Right, man. Right. Hey, that Twister Overnight Celebrity, I had that on loop at one point, bro. Cruising, nighttime. Yo, back then to us, that they had like ray tracing effects before we even knew what that was, man. The puddles in the streets on Midnight Club, driving through the city. Yo, it's crazy, man. It's pretty crazy. And back then to us, that stuff looked what we see as 4K today. That was that to us back then.
Oh yeah.
But when we look at it,
yeah. You were pretending to just be kicking it and cruising in the city. That highway felt miles and miles and miles longer than it really was.
Yeah, hey, I swear, man. I swear. But as far as that Forza Horizon, I got to give it to them. That's one of the first games I've ever played. I want to say, matter of fact, the first game I ever played, and no cap, because like I said, man, I don't cap. I keep it 100 all the time, right? Unless we joking or whatever, I keep it 100. Forza Horizon 5 was the first video game I've ever played in history. And I felt like they delivered on everything they said they was going to do. Everything they said they was going to do. They ain't lie about one thing, not to my knowledge at all. They didn't promise something that wasn't in the game. It looked just like it looked when I was seeing that gameplay, and I seen dudes driving through the jungle, and I seen dudes driving through like the desert part, the cactuses, and the fidelity of the foliage. You know what I'm saying? When I seen all that, I'm like, that game looks amazing. But I'm not really
But show
asking
me the
myself.
gameplay. This is some bullshit.
Yeah, I'm not saying to myself this is PC because at that moment I'm feeling like Xbox learned their lesson. There's no way Xbox is going to pull the wool over our eyes, but I'm in disbelief. Like I know that's possible, but is that really that game, bro? It came out. That was the game. That game looks that good. It runs that good. And this is an open world multiplayer game that looks, plays, and performs this good. Like I said, that's the first time I ever felt like a video game gave us everything they showed you. And they didn't like, there's no, before E3, after E3. Bro, it looks better. You know what I'm saying? It looks at least as good. And and I'm not even a big time racing fan. Like not big time. But I love me a good racer. Like I said, Dub Edition, that was the ish. Mario Kart, of course, that's in the league of its own. The Crash Team Racings, I played all that. South Park Rally, original PlayStation, all that. But that Forza Horizon 5 is just something special, man. Like, and it's a shame. They said something about it came too late to be for Game of the Year or something. I remember that whole little debacle. What was going on with that? Yeah, that would have won. Because that game, it destroys Gran Turismo. And again, Gran Turismo was one of the games, I ain't no hater. Gran Turismo got me into customizing cars on the original PlayStation.
It did. The original
I
Gran
remember.
Turismo and Gran Turismo 2 OG PlayStation.
Right.
Like,
bro,
they don't understand. I feel like people don't understand how different that game is from yesterday to now.
Yeah, man. Heck yeah, man. I remember.
Like people are complaining, including me. I'm one of those people complaining about how it feels when you're driving the car. It just feels slow. It feels like you're barely moving. It feels like you're kind of driving the track more than the car. And like, if you go back and you look at Gran Turismo 2, I want you to pull up even the same fucking course. Pull up that main raceway course that's in every single Gran Turismo game, and you tell me which car looks like they're going faster. You're gonna easily say Gran Turismo 2. It looks like you're flying in that game. And in some cars you are flying, because if you remember, you can get that Escudo Pikes Peak from Suzuki. That motherfucker used to do wheelies. That thing was fast. But what I'm just trying to say is, man, like, when I feel like I'm driving a grandma's car, but look down and see that I'm going 70 and oh shit, I gotta turn.
Right.
It just takes a lot of the fun out of it. And then on top of it, the car looks fantastic in that car. But everything around me looks like it's dying.
Yeah, man. That's why I said definitely Forza Horizon, because
that
not
atmosphere
only
in Forza is nasty.
Hey, not how do you get your environment looking just as good as the car? And that's an open world multiplayer game. At any time, I can deviate if I put that side by side. And again, we just talking real stuff, bro. Everything ain't fanboy. This is real grown men talking, right? If I put Forza Horizon 5 beside Gran Turismo 7 in a similar setting, I seen the one guy do it. I forgot his name, is like Fidelity or something on there, because I commented on it, and he commented back respectfully or whatever, and he was like, both games look good, but you're right. If you set up a similar scene at any time, you got to remember, not only does Forza look better overall, but you can deviate from that little screenshot and go anywhere that you see. That is a marvelous achievement in gaming, right? And that is insane to me, bro. That is insane. Like, the environment has everything from looks, fidelity, physics, destruction. Like you're talking about the speed of the cars, bro. You can feel the speed on that game. You can jump around, you can do a lot of stuff, and that is insane. I ain't got all these crazy hours into it because I play some everything, right? And I ain't never been a super big racing fan, but that don't stop me from appreciating what that game is and what I've experienced in it. So you take all this fanboy stuff away. If you hating on Forza Horizon 5, you crazy. You crazy. That game, there's nothing like that out there, man. Like the total package. So, but growing up on Gran Turismo, that's what got me into customizing cars. Because I remember telling my homeboy about it, and I'm like, yo, we should play this game. Like we got to take turns playing, but we can race each other in XYZ, customize our cars. Like you can make your car red. That was his favorite color. Mine blue XYZ. He said like the Fast and the Furious because that was kind of when that was getting a little popular. I'm
Right.
like, yeah, just like the Fast and the
They even
Furious.
had that game
Right.
in the movie.
Yeah, man. So yeah, being able, man, I remember being a little kid. I ain't know what none of them gear ratios, none of that meant. But I knew I liked the way the Dodge Viper looked, and I knew I can go play in the settings and make it as fast and go to the test track and see how high I can get. Bro, I
Right.
spent hours doing just that. So yeah, man, when it comes to this just gaming talk, man. Like I said, I know my history, bro, because I was there. It ain't even about talking. It's not even talking points for me, bro. It's just directly, correlating and communicating my gaming experiences and knowledge with people. Like, yeah, I can never be a Gran Turismo hater, bro. I come from Gran Turismo. But
Right.
I also have to recognize when Gran Turismo has been succeeded. Just like some of the first rappers in the world or musicians or what have you. They did their thing, but they were superseded by others. That doesn't mean we lose respect for the originals, but you have to know when something's just better, right? And it ain't always the case. There's some older guys that just destroy any new dude, but there are some new artists that even older artists kind of look up to, like, yo, you are doing your thing, and so it'd be cool if we had that same kind of attitude about gaming as a whole. Some of us do. Some of us who are mature minded do. Um, but it seems like the vast majority of people don't. It seems like they don't want to acknowledge, when somebody else does great because they feel like they're, I guess, betraying their own beloved system, that's crazy to me, man. It's whack. Stop. That's not what you're supposed to do.
Well, I mean, I feel like it goes down to people like sometimes people just want to pretend to be an individual when really they're just using groupthink.
Yep. Exactly.
You know, like it's very popular right now for people to say, "I'm an individual. I do whatever I want." But once they hear something that's not to their liking, they go behind a bunch of people and look for help
Most
and look for
definitely.
validation, and instead of just standing on their own feet on their own beliefs.
Most definitely, brother. Most definitely.
All right, well, let's go ahead and move on. That was a fantastic subject. What is your favorite studio that happens to be out, or not whether it's out or not? It could be closed down for all I care. But what's your
Right.
favorite studio, and what game best represents that studio?
My favorite studio. Let me see. I'm gonna think of my favorite games. Well, From Soft, they made Armored Core, but I can't call it my favorite because we ain't had an Armored Core in 2 generations. So I'm hoping this six definitely delivers. And that's their most popular game, by the way, y'all. Not the Souls games. Armored Core put them on the map. Feel free to look it up. But I was there. But my favorite studio, man, even though they make me mad, man, I got a love-hate relationship with them.
Is it Rockstar?
Probably Koei. Rockstar. You know, you threw me for a loop, bro. I was gonna say Koei because of Dynasty Warriors. That's like one of my favorite games, man. But you said Rockstar, man. I gotta say Rockstar. With all things considered, definitely Rockstar because you can give me a Rockstar game and I can guarantee you I'm gonna have some fun. I don't care what I'm doing. I'm gonna find a way to have fun with it.
If you
So
were to
definitely.
choose a new sequel to a game, would you choose Red Dead or GTA? And I'm saying offline game.
Oh, now we doing offline.
Yes,
Hmm.
because I really don't enjoy the online of either one of those games, and I grew up playing all the GTA's because none of them had an online except GTA 4.
Right.
So yeah,
So offline. If I had to make an offline sequel to a game, I would have to say, as much as I love Red Dead, I gotta say GTA because GTA is where that whole thing started. I had one of the original GTA's on PlayStation when it was the top-down view, and you had a gang called the Loonies and these other people, and it was like isometric. I think that's what it's called. I think the top down or whatever. It was weird.
You talking
But that's how I
about the old
started.
GTAs? Yeah, like
Yeah,
London and the original
yeah.
GTA and GTA 2. Those are all bird's eye
Even
view.
yeah. Bird's eye view. There you go. I remember my homeboy, right? Because we was in like I think high school, and he was like, "You ever play this game?" Um, or we was fresh out of middle, going to high school. I'm like a freshman or whatever. And he was like, "You ever play this game called Grand Theft Auto?" I'm like, "Grand Theft Auto." I'm like, "Nah." Then he was like, "Here, it's dope. You can do this and you can do that." I understand why it was so popular until I started playing the game. I'm like, "Oh, you can drive around. This is a weird view, but I'm driving around a real city. I can get out my car. They talking about selling drugs and doing this and doing that." I'm like, "Yo, this is some crazy stuff."
Right.
And I remember saying in my mind, because the game called Driver was out. If y'all remember Driver back then,
Mm-hmm.
we can hop out your car and get in different cars. I remember saying to myself, like, bro, if you took that Grand Theft Auto game that you put me on to and you combine it with that 3D world of that
I
Driver,
swear to
that would
God,
be
a lot of kids said that, including
yo,
myself.
yo, yo. And they took our little kid collective idea and made GTA 3, bro. They did. That's exactly what GTA 3 was, bro. Driver mixed with the top down view. And so like they knew. I was just thinking, I'm like, it's times I played Driver just because you can do that. I'm like, it's like I'm playing GTA, but I just can't, shoot at nobody or nothing.
You got to know
In
them
Driver,
developers for Driver were just like, son of a bitch, once that
yeah,
game
bro.
came out. Because their game was pointless now.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. So shout out to Driver, man. Driver you probably had to be the first. When I think of it, to do the first open world car driving 3D game. It's a long ass description, but yeah, they beat Grand Theft Auto to the punch. Grand Theft Auto, just like you said, they made Driver completely irrelevant, bro. I never played another Driver after that. Like I don't
Right.
think I did. It was no point. So yeah, man, it'd be GTA offline just because hey, we love GTA for being GTA. So online, offline, it is what it is.
Yeah, and you're right about GTA with the history. I mean, there'd be no good open world Red Dead game without a GTA before it, but there'd also be no great like Sleeping Dogs.
Right,
Let's see, True Crime Streets of LA. I mean, even games that aren't even like mischief, like was it like Saints Row and stuff like that. Like just the
right.
just the sense of open world and just all out exploration. Like that was around before GTA, but it wasn't sought after until
Right.
GTA. GTA exploded it to the point where it felt like you were a real person doing some fucked up shit and it was okay.
Yeah, hey, for real, man. Like GTA, man, it created something. And that's one reason that goes back to my roots and getting the Xbox. Because when I seen Saints Row, because people remember Saints Row 1 was an Xbox exclusive. They should have locked that down. I don't know if they had in the franchise or if it wasn't possible. For sure it was possible. They probably weren't thinking of it. But I remember seeing
It
that.
could have been possible
It
that
was
they
like,
didn't sell enough copies and they wanted to move to
yeah,
multi-plat because
right,
Xbox was so new and a lot of people were really loving Saints Row because the original Saints Row wasn't as goofy as the Saints Rows are now. Like it
no,
was
man.
like like that was a thug ass game back in the day.
Hey, yo, one of the first missions, you see somebody get popped and you gotta finish them, or man, it's pretty crazy. Or the dude comes, it's pretty crazy. It was raw, man, and that's what drew me in. I'm like, yo, so this new Xbox is going to do online games, and this looks like clearly it's a ripoff of GTA, but it looks like evolution of GTA. I'm definitely getting that 360 now, bro, because I love me some GTA, and this took everything we loved about GTA far as me anyway. I love the LA like the 1990s black / gang culture. I love that element about San Andreas, and I felt like this was kind of an evolution of that. It's giving us everything we mainly loved about San Andreas, but it's one game, the whole gang thing, and that was dope to me, man. But yeah, it's like 3 is when it got weird. 1 was super gutter. 2 was gutter, but yeah, it was gutter but unique. 2 was like the perfect balance. They had lightning in the bottle. Is what my homeboy say. He said they had lightning in the bottle because they stumped Rockstar that year, bro. Saints Row 2 as a game stumped GTA 4. I remember they were even so bold to make that commercial. It was like, would you rather go like bowling with your uncle or run around town with a flamethrower, XYZ or whatever? Would you rather take a tour of New York in a chopper, or would you rather this? I'm like, yo, I had just beat GTA 4, and I discovered I couldn't have a chopper. I mean, I couldn't have a plane. I didn't have a jetpack. I ain't had no rockets. I couldn't do none of the crazy stuff I did in San Andreas. So I'm like, and I seen that Saints Row 2 commercial, bro. I went right around the corner because I live around the corner from a GameStop. I drove around there and traded in GTA 4 for Saints Row 2. And I did not regret it because not only was the whole game co-op and I beat that with my cousin, but they had a multiplayer mode. I remember going online and the lobby was like a basketball court / gymnasium. And so while y'all waiting to play whatever mode you pick, y'all can be like hitting each other. Remember they had this big old pimp hand, that foam hand. You can backhand somebody and you feel like 100 feet in the air, 50 feet away. That was mad funny. That was silly. So I was mad, bro. I was mad when they took out multiplayer, like multiplayer from Saints Row. I'm like, damn, bro, that was so fun, right? Because they had one of the first systems of improving your look online. Like that was pretty crazy to me. But 3 came out and it was just co-op, and 4 came out. 3 kind of started getting crazy and wacky. 4 went full superpowers, but 4 is actually a dope game. Low key, people don't like that Saints Row. I guess got more away from the hood side of it and embraced his own kind of wackier identity.
Yeah.
But 4 is a great game. You talking about feeling like a superhero in a city for you like freaking Hancock and Part 4, man. That's a dope game. Like, it was just a cool game. And I know Saints Row gets a lot of hate because people feel like they deviated away from 2. Is again when they had like in the bottom.
They flat out did.
Yeah, they did, but I'm a person. I'm an optimist. I'm very optimistic. So unless something is straight out garbage, like just bad overall, until you just can't ignore it, I tend to give stuff a chance. And so although I didn't like multiplayer being removed, I didn't like how it strayed away from the hood elements and more towards whatever. I'm like, okay. I mean, it's their identity. Is it playable though? Can I get down with it? And I found out the more I played Saints Row 3, because I beat every Saints Row but Part 1. I didn't get to beat that one. But the more I played them, the more I liked it, Part 3, and I'm still on 4 because I play so many games. I'm at a part on 4. That's why I got to resume at. There's never been a Saints Row that I felt like I want to play this no more. I wanted to just keep playing. I wanted to keep playing because leveling up, getting new powers, new guns. I don't know. The story is even pretty cool. So man, Saints Row is a unique. It's one of the few unique games out there still that kind of can give GTA a run for his money. You know what I'm saying? Like respectfully, anyway. This new Saints Row, what they're doing with this one is kind of weird because somebody said they're like GameStop employees rather than gangsters, which is funny. Yeah, man. That's what somebody, my homeboy
that's
said.
That's an ass way to put it.
Yo, that's what he said, man. The
Generation
Z stuff. Yeah, but looking at the gameplay and the graphics and the fact that it's built from the ground up on this generation, what I like what I see so far, man. Like, I feel like they're calling it Saints Row. They're not calling it 5, and they're doing the safe way and calling it Saints Row because they can always go back and make a Saints Row 5, or they can do anything with just a blank slate of Saints Row.
Right.
So just in case. And then since we live in a generation to where games can be constantly updated and built upon, who's to say? I did a little talking about content creation. One of my last real videos I did was talking about Saints Row, right? And, asking people not to worry and talking about some things they could do. I do want to see them at some point kind of introduce some of the old game to the new game to kind of reassure, classic fans like me and you, right? Such as ourselves. Because I know they're in a weird space with some games these days. They're trying to make games to appeal to a newer crowd, yet you don't want to do that too much to where it alienates, the people that made you popular in the first place. Don't forget where you came from. So I feel like
that word of mouth is superior.
Oh yeah, man, you got to find a way to appease both both crowds, man, both bases. So I would really like, unless they got some kind of plan for it that we don't know about, I'm hoping they find a way to introduce somebody from the old ones into this new one. Because if I'm not if I'm not mistaken, Johnny Gat supposedly fixed history or something, because I didn't get to beat all the four yet. Like I said, I already fixed history or something. Um, so they could introduce the new Saints to the newer generation. Say, okay, let me help y'all out, show y'all how it's done, or all this can be a dream or whatever. I have hope for the franchise, but overlooking how some of us may not be able to connect with the characters right off the bat, the gameplay looks nice, and that's why we play games in the first place, bro. To game, the gameplay looks nice on the game. So and that's y'all, that might be an unpopular opinion with y'all, but from what I seen of Saints Row, the new one, hey, it looked nice, man. It looked nice. So I'm gonna give it a chance.
All right, let's go. Well, maybe that might be the answer to this question. What is the most excited game this year for you?
Okay, this year. Well, yeah, Saints Row's there. Stalker, that's one. If that gets to come out, with what's going on in the world right now. Um, well, you got Scorn, you got Arc. Oh man, hold up, hold on.
Arc. Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah, Arc. I gotta say Arc, man. I just remembered it. Arc 2, because when Arc came out for the Xbox and preview program, man, that blew me away. Like, I don't even know. Just dinosaurs. Dinosaurs is always going to be cool, man, especially to dudes anyway. Being in a world where you can play with your friends and build and try to survive T-Rexes, that was amazing to me, bro. And that was last generation. I can only imagine what they can do building that game from the ground up with these new consoles, man. So I got to say Arc, definitely.
Yeah, and they went through so many, like Studio Wildcard went through so much trouble with that game, and it stayed in preview for a really long time because
Yeah.
of just optimization. And now I think with this new Arc, because I'm a really big Arc fan, I have over 100 days in that game.
Oh wow.
Um, so I mean, I absolutely love that game, but I feel that now that they're only working instead of working because you got to remember this game was ported to Xbox,
Right.
PlayStation, Switch, and just and they all just and PC and they all just ran differently. The
Right.
Switch was obviously the worst. The Xbox and PlayStation was just breathing heavy to
Right.
keep that game running. I don't know how many times I got kicked out of a game in the in the game preview, and then once the game even launched, it was still really poorly optimized.
Right.
So
Right.
like I can only imagine what they're gonna do now with only having to work on Xbox and PC, and that's it.
Right, man. And the
And they
more
got
powerful
money this
hardware.
time too. They got money this time
Yeah,
because a
man.
lot of people don't remember that, or a lot of people don't want to acknowledge how you know niche this game was and how it really didn't have so much backing towards it,
Right.
but it was very ambitious, and I feel like that's the reason that it got love from so many people, including me, because it's just like, wow, you're really trying to give me the whole world, literally.
Right. Man, it's that game, man. When I seen that thing in the Xbox preview program, man, because I seen some information on that it was coming in there. And that's why, just to deviate a little bit, the trials thing that PlayStation's supposed to be getting, right? Regardless of the tiers and whatever, that's the coolest feature that I've seen about that. Being able to try games. I'm a big fan of try before you buy when it comes to games. There are so many games I passed up on because I've seen gameplay or whatever, but there's nothing like being able to play, a demo or a trial. That's what PlayStation started at. Hey, let me try this game, and if I like it, I'm gonna buy it. And that's why I bought Arc. I, they gave out, they let you do the little like 2 hours or whatever on a preview program.
It was like
I'm like,
$13
yeah,
when it first came out too on preview.
yeah, yep, yep. And when I played it, I was just like, yeah, I'm not done with this. I gotta buy it, bro, because I'm not done playing it. I'm having too much fun. Like, it was nothing like booting up Ark, man. I'm trying to look for my brother. I'm looking for my brother, my homeboy. It's like 7 or 8 of us in the party. Like, yo, nigga, where you at? Where you at? I'm by a rock. I'm by a tree. Well, keep walking this. Well, keep. Yo. So it's like, oh, I just got killed by a dinosaur, bro. These days, yo, just so many memories of that game.
You
And then we
stuck in
finally
his
linked up.
base.
Yo, for real, bro. Like, I'm stuck behind this rock. Yo, it's Ark is just one of them. It ain't nothing like Ark out there. Like nothing. You got your Minecrafts, you got your Roblox, you got all these things, right? Creation games, but ain't nothing like Ark overall. Nothing, right? Nothing. That was just an amazing game, man. Like you can, it's crazy because you get these tools to build these like extravagant or basic bases. You can tame these dinosaurs. You can just kind of do all these things that you wanted to do since you was a little kid. And so that's how I look at a lot of these games. I feel like a lot of people forgot where we came from as gamers. Um, I know how I felt and what I wanted when I was little, when I was growing up. And so when I see a game that offers me the things that I wanted to be possible as a kid or a teen growing up, and they come out with that now, ain't no way I can hate on that. And Ark was one of them dream games. So that's why we were willing to tolerate the bugs and tolerate the unoptimization because the game concept itself was just so cool, man.
Yeah. It was a little bit of a marvel for me, and there's a lot of Ark haters out there that think that the game is slow and boring, and I'm just like, bro, like this is what I would like, but just a little bit more. I see where the hate comes from because it's kind of like the base of the game is kind of dull.
Right.
But like if you actually like think about it, if they implement just a couple things right in that game, that will make a lot more people addicted. For instance, a combat system that isn't just swinging. If you
Most
have
definitely.
if you have a motherfucker running around like Aloy and Ark, good luck turning that thing off. I'm playing that all day, all night because you have a fighting style that you can base something off of and actually add a story to the game as well. If you add a story and then add
Yeah.
a great combat system, because all Ark is right now is lore and boss fights. And you don't even know that there's boss fights until you actually like start like looking shit up as if you're playing Elden Ring or something like the game doesn't
Yep.
tell you what to do at all. You have to
They
figure
really
it out.
don't.
So yeah,
They
add a
really don't.
storyline, add a combat system, and that game is gonna be fire. Because I think that's all
Most
it really
definitely.
needs.
Most definitely, bro. Most definitely. It's just one of those unique games, man. So yeah, I definitely Arc 2, man. Arc 2. I forgot about that until my man Games here, I believe, the one said something about it. Right? I forgot all about that game. And so he reminded me. So yeah, man. Yeah, definitely.
The boy Matt
Definitely
likes
Arc 2.
games. No, I didn't forget about it. I talk way too much about that game, and he hates it. But deal with it, bro. Anyways, um, we're getting close towards the end of the show. We got a few more questions still, but
All right.
I want you to go back into that. Go back in the day and grab two old ass games that you want to get that brand new treatment, and I feel like one of them's Armored Core.
Well, since that we already know that's coming. We already know
Okay.
that's coming. Did you see the leaks? They were kind of looking. It was like some leaks leaked from like a tech test or something. I don't know what it was called. It's some kind of internal test that leaked out. Look it up. Armor Core uh 6 leaked images or something. It was something. But yeah, that's definitely on the way. Um so I'm gonna exclude that one. Let's say
Okay.
Blitz the League, bro. I could play that all night.
Bro.
Yo, yo, I wish that was backwards compatible. I wish that was backwards compatible. I don't even
Ain't
need
nothing
online,
like
bro.
taking someone's helmet off and just beating them over the head with it until they
Man,
fall down.
football is my favorite sport for
Yes, sir.
obvious reasons. Right now, when you get older, right, all right, you start thinking a little different. But still, like the defense, bro. The defense, being able to get your hands on somebody and tackle and do all this or whatever.
Oh yeah.
being able to play a football game that emphasized the defense. Like it's so enjoyable scoring, but the defense was so fun. I used to want to hairpin score. If I lost the ball, nigga, I didn't even care because I get to get on defense and
You
break
saved
bones
that
and do all.
unleash for the right
Yo,
moment.
yo, Blister League 1 was cool. They did the X-ray bones, and that was dope. 2 took it to another level. If I could pick one game, Blister League 2. A matter of fact, you gave me 2, so they will be a top. Blister League 2, Power Stone. Give me Power Stone 3 from the Dreamcast because they had part 2.
Wow.
Give me Power Stone 3 because Power Stone was the only brawler I ever played, in my opinion, that can give Smash Brothers a run for his money. Because Power Stone was more of a 3D. It was a 3D brawler. You already know. And on the Dreamcast, if you had a memory card, you could store your favorite 3 items during a match. And if you see a memory card, you run over there and touch your memory card, and one of your items will pop out. And it had an item creation system, right? You can combine items to make new ones, beat the game. Bro, that black crystal's on back of that case, bro. There's a black crystal on back of that case. I had my little brother. I beat the game several times. But since I knew my little brother liked playing my games and it was my Dreamcast, I'm like, you want to play my game? Keep beating the game, beat with this person, that person, XYZ. So I had him looking for the black crystal. We never found that black crystal. But if you look up Power Stone 2, the back of the case art, there's a black crystal on the ground. But you couldn't find it in the game. So Power Stone was such a cool game, man. It took the brawler formula and added transformations, cool items. You had a Mega Buster, stabs, dragons. Man, it was just so dope. That was a dope game, man. A super dope
It's a
super
classic
dope
that
game.
needs to come back. That would be dope.
Yeah,
So
man.
Power Stone and Blitz the League are the 2 games.
Yeah, man, definitely. Off the
All
top of
right.
the head, definitely.
All right, we're gonna kind of skip the next question because you've pretty much laid that out there pretty thick, like on what
Right.
frustrates you about gaming and whatnot. So we're just going ahead and skip over that and go to what might be a little bit more exciting and ask you what would be like a dream come true for you within gaming.
All third party games, full cross platform. All third parties, full cross play.
Yeah,
I
he
mean, yeah,
said
cross.
cut the bullshit. He said cut the bullshit.
Who said that?
You.
Oh yeah. I mean, hey. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, all third parties definitely cross play because we have a lot of dudes that be talking reckless in this gaming community, and I would love nothing more to be able to get my hands on them in whatever I play. And now, now niggas dudes be having every excuse in the world, man. I done got some of y'all's favorite Twitterers and YouTubers. I done asked them, what's going on? We gonna fight? What we gonna do? I got you, this, that. Never heard from them. Never heard from them again, man. Right? And these be the dudes with the thousands and tens. Like, bro, come on, man. If y'all really gamers like that, bro. I even had a dude say to me, right, when I was doing all my spaces, we kind of got on the subject of gaming with, not really enemies, because I don't consider people enemies. That's some little kid shit. It's either you immature or you grown. You know what I'm saying? Immature people.
Gotcha.
The dude asked me
That's a
something
fair
like,
way to look at it, so it's not like so
right.
rude.
Not even trying to be toxic, man. Just, just grown man or immature, man. But he asked me, I told him, like, I try to play this person and that person, this person and that person. And I know why. I already know why. Because they don't want no smoke. That's just what it is. But he said the other element was like, what if they, they just don't rock with you like that? I'm like, nigga, gaming is not about who rock with who. Matter of fact, that's the opposite of gaming, because back then, if you had a problem with a nigga, y'all play games, you would sell it in an arcade or play on a game and pretend that's the person. At the very least, act like you beating the person up for real in a fighting game. Like, gaming is supposed to help you with that. So I'm like, that makes no sense.
King David talked all about that on the episode that we had. He said, yo, people had beef, met it at the arcade and settled it.
Right, exactly, right? So all that, they don't rock with you. None of that makes sense on no level, no layer, no tier, not an iota of logic makes any sense. Because number one, the only reason anybody would not like me is because I said some truth that you just don't agree with. Because I make myself too accessible as a human being and as a person for you to just run around and say, I don't mess with that dude. Okay, come tell me that then. Let's have a discussion. Let's have a debate. You think you know more about gaming? Let's do that then. I'm gonna respect you as much as you respect me. That's the reason why with a lot of people. So if everything was full crossplay, it would be easier to play certain people. But so not to even really jump around. So I kind of put it to do like that, like by that logic, what's going on in the world right now with Ukraine and Russia. So by that logic, they can just be like, well, I don't like them, so I have free range to steamroll their country. I'm like, see, that logic doesn't apply to real life. So whether somebody doesn't like you over video gaming, news, knowledge, whatever, if you're an adult, if you're an adult at all, that shit is asinine. That thought process is irrelevant because at the end of the day, gaming should bring people together, and that's what gaming was designed to do. So that
Yeah.
shows you for a lot of these people who have that mindset, because there's not one person out there that beats the truth feel like I'll never talk to this person. I'll never get him a chance. I'll never have a conversation. And it's not even because I want you to be my friend. I can care less if you're my friend, homie. You just better respect me. That's all. Now, so when we get to the gaming part, that's why I don't mind talking to anybody because I know what this is all about. It's about gaming and we're gamers. So yeah, if all games was cross-platform and full crossplay, there will be a lot more opportunities and a lot less excuses for people to get down in whatever game they play. Right?
So what you saying is you want cross play on all consoles for the games that are third party, so you can expel your smoke that you've been
Yeah, so I can
waiting to dish out to these fools within the community.
so I can prove yeah, so I can prove to they love followers that they ain't nothing. Your God can bleed.
Yo, God can bleed. I love it. That's funny. All right, cool. Well, what do you yeah, we're getting down to the last couple. What do you enjoy doing outside of gaming, bro? When you're not gaming at all, not even on your mind, what you like doing?
Spending time with my fam, man. I got 3 kids, my lady. I love spending time with my family. Number one, man. Studying, meditating on God, right? Because I'm a God fearing man. I'm a Christian. I don't fear nothing but God, honestly. Um, and the reason for that is simple. Thou shalt not fear the one that can destroy the body, but destroy the body and soul in hell, right? And that's not me trying to impress my faith on nobody. Um, that's what I live by. Because you have to, if you don't stand for something, you're gonna fall for anything. We all heard that. And the principles of what I live by, my faith in Jesus Christ, my faith in God. If it wasn't for that, um, people, there's a, I put it like this, right? Think of whatever you don't like about in the world, right? Now think of whatever is not that bad. You think of the things you do like about the world. You think of the things that you don't like about the world. 99 times out of 100, the things that you do like about the world have some kind of root in faith, have some kind of root in justice, righteousness, and morality. Because the things you don't like about the world come when people choose to be self-serving and sinful and negative and toxic and they only care about themselves and their own lives. So spending time with family, getting close to God and making myself better every day is what I do when I'm not gaming, right? Even when I do this stuff and talk on Twitter or whatever, I always try to find a way to tie faith into it or morality where applicable, right? Everybody ain't never gonna like everybody, but at the end of the day, I tell people like this, and this is truth, right? At the end of the day, somebody's more right and somebody's more wrong. You cannot like 2 people, you cannot like 1 person. At the end of the day, somebody's more right and somebody's more wrong. And if you keep it 100 with yourself, you're gonna know who. So that's why faith is important for me. Because if it wasn't for faith, for anybody that think I was ever bad in the past or bad now, even, bro, you don't know what bad is, right? It's people that try to do good while it's the reason the world ain't in complete chaos and anarchy right now, like on some Road Warrior, Water World, crazy type Mad Max type of stuff, right? Because you gotta stand for positivity. I ain't mean to drag that on, but yeah, outside of gaming, bro, family, and appreciating, God's creation and trying to get closer to that. So that's my answer to that.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well spoken. Very well spoken. Um, Now, I'm just kind of curious. Do you have any questions for me? And please don't ask the same question that everybody else asks, how I got into content creation. Because I've been asked that question on at least 6 or 7 different episodes. And I'm just like, I'm tired of answering that. So give me a different question if you have any. If not, we can just move forward.
Well, it ain't even how you got into content creation. I'll say mine was going to be a variation on that. Why do you do what you do?
Okay, why? I guess, I mean, that's pretty similar to the last one, but to the last time I've been asked. But I'll go on ahead and tell you. I mean, and I'll keep it brief. I do this because I don't have a person like in my house, just like most other people. I don't have somebody to just easily just talk about games with and reflect on the past and have somebody see where I'm coming from. Usually, when I'm talking to people, outside of like Twitter, YouTube, and yada yada yada, outside of gaming, like if I'm just on the street or whatnot, it's really hard to to capture that same feeling that I have for games. You
Right.
know, so being able to talk to people like yourself, people, I mean, like just a couple days ago, I talked to Crap Gamer. I talked to I talked to all sorts of different people. Randall Thor, uh, David on the Moon, Twan, Saltiest Gaming, Gaming Forte. I mean, I've talked to all different types of people, and it's simply because they have something that I can't get in everyday interactions, and that is a passion and love for gaming. So that is something that we can chat about. That's something that we can discuss. We can be on two different corners about it, but at the end of the day, like you like to say, at the end of the day, we're
Right.
gamers. We're gamers, and whether we like the same thing or not is irrelevant. The point is we got somebody to talk to about it, and we got and it's fun, and it makes the game that you're playing or not playing a little bit more enjoyable. I mean, I talk about Crossfire X every day, and I hate that game, but it's fun because everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everybody knows
Right.
that game is terrible, so it's fun just
Hey,
talking about it. It's
I
terrible
gotta
to me, bro.
I'm
It's
a pro.
terrible.
I gotta, yeah, I gotta protest it just a little. I ain't gonna call it terrible because
Stop.
I've enjoyed playing that more than a couple of other shooters, man. So it ain't
Tell
the
me what
best.
shooter. Tell me what shooter it's better
Call
than.
of Duty, nigga.
Oh,
Call of
stop.
Duty, Call of Duty.
You
To
just
me,
throwing shade, right?
hey, for real, man. I tried Call of Duty, man, but man, there's something about it that I just can't rock with. Probably
You
because
said
I've been so
Crossfire
heavy.
X, man. They Call of Duty.
Man, hey, for real, the shooting, man, the shooting. You know what it remind me of? You know when we used to see movies, right? And somebody playing a video game in a movie. That's what Crossfire X. It remind me of one of those games you see in movies that somebody playing, but it's not a real game. But it actually the man, the gunplay is kind of tight, man. It's kind of cool for me, man. So I
We're
don't
gonna
know,
have to
man.
agree to disagree. Here we
Yeah,
go. Here we go, because I ain't rocking with it.
that's all right though. That's all right. It's all right. It's the beauty of gaming, man.
And see, that is kind of the whole point of all of this. You know what I'm saying? We
Right.
don't have to agree on the same thing. In fact, if we did agree on the same thing, what the fuck would be the point in talking to each other?
Facts.
All right, so yeah, let's keep it moving. The last thing I'm gonna have you do for me, bro, is just describe gaming for me in just 3 words.
Fun with friends.
Simple, simple and quick. Love it. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out and checking my boy Beast of Truth out. Really good dude,
Appreciate
very
y'all.
well spoken. He has his own opinions, and I love it. I love it because that keeps him original, and it doesn't make him so cookie cutter like some people like to kind of be sometimes. Get out, be yourself, and trust. You will find your crowd if you just be yourself. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? But yeah, I want to just thank everybody for coming out. Make sure you hit that like button, share this episode out so other people can see it. Beast information is down in the details below. I forget what they're called. Description. Yeah, description below.
Yeah,
So you can find them on his YouTube channel and also on Twitter. And you'll be able to find me tomorrow with Loke and Cozy Beluga. We're gonna be just messing around, talking about all different kinds of games and what's been happening this week. And then you'll also be able to check me out on K Mega's show later on that same day. And then on Sunday, you'll be able to check me, Matt, Twan, and Foremost on the Game Drain, where we have a few concepts that we put together. And it's just really fun. You'll just have to be there to check it out. By the way, we're going to be streaming together. Me, Twan, Foremost, and Matt Likes Games. We're going to throw it on our actual Game Drain YouTube, and we're all going to have our own screens in separate corners. So definitely check that out. But thank you, everybody, as I said before, for coming on out. This is Ham Solo 05 Gaming with Beasts of Truth.
appreciate the opportunity, brother.
Absolutely.
Peace out.
All right, we are off.